When the stars align, love shines the brightest, especially in Hollywood, where relationships are always under the microscope. Some celebrity couples defy the odds, growing stronger with time, and their latest appearance proves it. Tyrus, the larger-than-life wrestling star, recently stepped out with his famous wife, turning heads and leaving fans in awe. Their bond, once a private affair, is now a testament to love that thrives beyond the camera. But they're not the only ones. Several power couples have never looked happier, proving that true love isn't just for the big screen. Stay tuned as Past Paradise dives into the heartwarming stories of celeb pairs still going strong, capturing hearts and headlines alike. Amanda Holden and Chris Hughes, married since 2008. Amanda Holden has mesmerized audiences with her gorgeous presence on screen as the Britain's Got Talent judge since 2007. A year later, she married her longtime boyfriend, Chris Hughes, with their adorable daughter, Lexi, in attendance. We can imagine how heartening it must have been for the couple to exchange vows in the presence of their little one. In 2004, Amanda met the record producer for the first time, and it wasn't until a year later that they started dating. Her reason for marrying Chris is relatable and straightforward. He makes her laugh and takes care of her in ways that matter. Don't we all wish we had somebody like that in our lives? Holly Willoughby and Daniel Baldwin, married since 2007. We all love a good love story, and we don't think there's any cuter tale than Holly Willoughby and Daniel Baldwin's. The pair, unsurprisingly, met in 2004 on the Ministry of Mayhem set, with Daniel on production duties. After being friends for 6 months, they started dating and getting engaged 2 years later. It's safe to say that Holly and Daniel are a pair made in heaven, as he compliments the television presenter in ways many of us are jealous of. We think it helps that both of them are in slightly similar careers. They can bounce ideas off each other, which helps strengthen their bond in the long run. Mary Berry and Paul John March Hunnings, married since 1966. In a world where celebrity marriages are bound to fail before they even begin, Mary Berry and her husband, Paul Hunnings, epitomize the phrase "marriage works." The two have been together for over half a century, and this is after Paul had to propose thrice before Mary said yes. The secret to their long union? Well, the acclaimed chef and television star attributes the longevity of their marriage to proper communication and solving their issues before the sun sets. Mary also claims they do things together, especially after indulging in a tasty meal, which has helped strengthen their bond. Now we know what we need to do. Jimmy Carr and Caroline Copping, dating since 2001. In 2001, Jimmy Carr met the stunning Caroline Copping at an audition and fell deeply in love with her right then and there. It wasn't the case for her, though. He didn't quite make a good impression on the Channel 5 commissioning editor until he took her out on a gig. Then both hit it off and have been dating ever since. Besides seeing them occasionally as they come out for a stroll, looking happy and content alone, we know nothing more about the couple. Known for his trademark laughter and dark humor on stage, Jimmy is a private person who likes to keep his personal life and relationships away from the limelight. David Letterman and Regina Lasco, married since 2009. There's a story waiting to be made into a movie about the romance through the years between David Letterman and Regina Lasco. Dating since 1986, she's been a constant fixture in his life. Even though it took over 2 decades for him to marry her in 2009, they've been inseparable throughout, including welcoming son Henry Joseph in 2003. As a production manager, Regina has worked on his shows Late Night with David Letterman and Saturday Night Live, which brought them closer. Spending so much time together probably took the pressure off them to wed sooner. Now that they are, David seems happy to be married to the love of his life. Dr. Phil McGrath and Robin McGrath, married since 1976. Being married for over 45 years hasn't dimmed the spark between Dr. Phil McGrath and his lovely wife Robin McGrath. Their love for each other is so strong that people might mistake them for newlyweds. Yet those years of going through life's highs and lows together have made them appreciate one another even more. The first time Phil met the 19-year-old Robin in 1973, she was in baggy shorts and a t-shirt with her hair disheveled. Yet she looked divine. Safe to say the famous psychologist fell hard for the girl next door, and so did she for him. They spent the next 3 years getting to know each other before getting married. Ellen DeGeneres and Porsche Rossi, married since 2008. Even though Ellen DeGeneres and the gorgeous Porsche Rossi met briefly at a party in the year 2000, it was 4 years later in Shrine Auditorium that their eyes locked, and they haven't looked away ever since. The couple married the minute it became legal to wed in 2008, and have sailed through the years secure in the knowledge of their incredible bond. Besides sharing laughter and mutual respect, at the core of their relationship is that they understand each other. Ellen has always said that Porsche gets her like no one else. The Ally McBeal actress gifted Ellen a gorilla sanctuary in 2018 that the latter holds dear to her heart. Jimmy Fallon and Nancy Javonan, married since 2007. We all know it's no task for Jimmy Fallon to impress a lady with his incredible humor and wit within seconds. Still, the special lady he chose to spend the rest of his life with, the charming and talented film producer Nancy Javonan. They first met on Saturday Night Live sets when Barrymore was the host, and Nancy developed a crush on Jimmy. We hope the late-night show host invites his stunning wife on the show one day so that she reveals more about their chemistry, ups and downs, and the secret of their rock-solid relationship that took off in the early 2000s. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. To shield her latest romantic endeavors from the public, renowned pop sensation Taylor Swift has taken extensive measures. Surprisingly, the newest buzz in town suggests that she may be in a relationship with the current NFL sensation Travis Kelce. Swift's romantic life has consistently been a subject of fervent speculation, and the reasons for this are abundantly clear. Among the snippets of her unreleased songs, one line intriguingly reads, "My heart's been borrowed and yours has been blue. All's well that ends to end up with you." Despite the ongoing rumors, the pair have not officially confirmed their relationship. Given their well-established penchant for privacy, it appears unlikely that they will soon unveil their joyful news to the public. Naga Manetti and James Hagar, married since 2007. Stunning BBC breakfast star Naga Manetti has been married to her broadcast consultant hubby, James Hagar, since 2007. Although both of them have hectic careers that have not allowed them time to have any children, they share a magnetic love bond that sees them crave that alone time together after a long day at work. Manetti has an incredible skill combination that must have wowed Hagar greatly, such as being an avid golfer, making mind-blowing cocktails, and playing classical piano and jazz trumpet. On the other hand, James is a devoted Tottenham Hotspur fan, and the two must keep a spare TV set to avoid fighting over the remote during soccer games. Kate Silverton and Mike Herren, married since 2010. Sometimes it's possible to be faced with analysis paralysis during dating, when you have many potential candidates but don't know exactly how to pinpoint the one. Broadcaster Kate Silverton was in such a phase when she crossed paths with her hubby Mike Herren during a war zone training course in 2005. Although Kate felt she had met the man of her dreams, she was afraid to commit and kept seeing other men until she finally hung her boots and exchanged vows with Mike in 2010. Thankfully, the man has always been patiently waiting for his bride to come home, and they now have 2 children, Wilbur and Clemency, to show for it. Christy McNichol and Marty Allen, dating since 1991. Christy McNichol's name may not ring a bell to the youngest generation now, but she earned her reputation in the entertainment industry after the film Little Darlings hit the box office. She went on an acting hiatus in 2001 for personal reasons, and people thought that was the end for her. Yet McNichol made headlines a decade later after revealing she was in a relationship with Marty Allen. As expected, fans got curious about the couple since no one knew McNichol and Ellen had reportedly been dating since 1991. Nevertheless, the couple ignored all the backlash and focused on their love instead of proving everyone wrong by getting married. Love wins indeed. Mike Tyson and Lakia Spicer, married since 2009. Make way for another couple who's managed to stick by each other's side through thick and thin. It's none other than Mike Tyson and Lakia Spicer. It took a while before their love story began, as the duo met back when Lakia was a teen and watched his boxing matches often. Some years later, Tyson and Spicer kept running into each other in various circumstances. Sure enough, the lovers eventually realized they were meant to be and tied the knot to make things official. Fans have since been curious about what exactly makes Tyson and Spicer click. The heavyweight champion considers his wife to be his better half. How sweet is that? Sam Elliott and Catherine Ross, married since 1984. Hollywood relationships can be a hit or miss. Yet Sam Elliott and Catherine Ross's love is extraordinary. After more than 3 decades of marital bliss, the hero actor divulged that marriage is just like work and worth all the effort that comes with it. Additionally, Elliott and Ross agree that as long as they don't walk away from each other, any problem can eventually be resolved, whether big or small. We should take a leaf from this fantastic couple's rulebook on marriage since it's working so well on their end. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, dating since 1983. We've all heard several romantic celebrity love stories over the years, but there's nothing quite like Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's relationship. The two have been thick as thieves since meeting on a movie set back in 1983. Yet the couple decided to forego tradition and skip marriage altogether. Naturally, everyone wondered why the besotted duo wouldn't make things official. The Deepwater Horizon actor revealed that he and Goldie are happy where they are and don't need a piece of paper to validate their love and devotion to each other. Suffice it to say that this A-list duo is in it for the long haul. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, married since 1988. Over the years, many Tinseltown couples met their significant others while filming a TV program or movie, much like award-winning actor Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson. Their love story isn't unheard of, yet it's worth noting that fate indeed had plans of getting them together one way or another, since their spark was undeniable. The Forrest Gump star feels exceptionally blessed to cross paths with Rita, since his love life went nowhere. After his first marriage fell through, Tom knew he had to make some changes if he hoped to make his union with Rita last. It's a good thing his plan worked. Dolly Parton and Carl Thomas Dean, married since 1966. Not everyone is lucky to meet the love of their lives at an early age, but Dolly Parton did. Yes, the Jolene singer first crossed paths with her future husband in a Nashville laundromat when she was still a teenager, before she even became a country superstar. They were married for over half a century before Carl died earlier this year. Despite Dolly's massive success in the music industry, it's interesting how Carl rarely went out to watch his beloved wife perform on stage. It's not like he didn't want to support her, but Dean felt like a nervous fan when Parton started to belt her tunes. Indeed, the duo's sweetness towards one another remains unparalleled. Elton John and David Furnish, married since 2014. Everybody knows about Elton John's extraordinary career as an artist, but his love life was a constant mystery that baffled fans. Despite his flamboyant persona, the candle-in-the-wind crooner kept his relationships private, especially regarding his husband, David Furnish. After seeing him at a friend's party, Elton shared how his attraction toward David happened instantaneously. As it turns out, the feeling was mutual, and they fell hopelessly in love. It's been more than 20 years since that memorable night, yet the power couple remains grateful that they found happily ever after, more so now that they've got 2 beautiful children together. Jay Leno and Mavis Leno, married since 1980. We all know that Jay Leno is one witty talk show host who fills our nights with comedic banter, yet most folks don't realize he's also a romantic. He's been married to his dear wife Mavis for decades, an astonishing feat by Hollywood standards. What makes their story even more heartwarming is how their decision to get hitched came about. The critically acclaimed host wanted to add Mavis to his insurance policy in case something happened, and marriage was the only answer to that, only without the fancy wedding ceremony and elaborate proposal. It shows just how much Jay cares for the woman of his dreams. Tom Selleck and Jilly Mack, married since 1987. Never in Tom Selleck's wildest dreams did he imagine meeting his future wife, Jilly Mack, at a musical, especially since he wasn't a big fan of theater in the first place. The Lassiter actor was watching Cats in London when he spotted the young Jilly Mack dancing on stage, and he was instantly smitten. Considering their age difference, folks assumed their union wouldn't last long, but they proved naysayers wrong by sticking together. So how do Tom and Jilly make their marriage work? It's pretty straightforward. They never make any significant life decision without checking each other's opinions on the matter first. Polly Peretti and Thomas Arkley, dating since 2011. Hollywood couples assure us that love can happen again. One doesn't have to live alone because of a broken heart or marriage. Take, for instance, the American actress and singer Polly Peretti. She married the incredible musician Coyote Shivers in 2000, but they divorced 4 years later. 10 years later, Polly crossed paths with Thomas Arkley, a former British Royal Marine, and they got engaged in 2011. They kept tight-lipped about their relationship, so it's hard to say when they'll exchange wedding vows. We hope the day comes soon when we witness Polly and Thomas as a married couple. Sean Hannity and Ainsley Earhart, dating since 2019. We understand it isn't easy to come out of an over 20-year-old marriage, but people move and find love again, just like Sean Hannity. Divorced in 2019, the iconic anchor has been linked with colleague Ainsley Earhart since they attended a wedding as a couple. Though none has accepted the relationship publicly, they aren't doing a successful job keeping it a secret either. As per reports and employees at Fox, their affair is quite apparent in the office. Perhaps Sean and Ainsley are taking things slow. We'll have to wait till they feel comfortable sharing the news with their fans. Caitlyn Jenner and Sophia Hutchins, dating since 2015. There's always so much happening in Caitlyn Jenner's life that it hooked her fans on the details. Whether it's her career, personal choices, or even the ambiguity around the celeb's romantic relations, it's amusing. The thrice-divorced businesswoman lives with her business partner, Sophia Hutchins, but they both deny they're involved romantically. Whether friends, family, wardrobe, home, or their dog, these two successful ladies share everything and spend holidays together. Perhaps they're not ready to put a tag on their relationship, so they keep denying it. Caitlyn and Sophia were introduced by a mutual hairdresser in 2015 and have been inseparable since then. Joanna Lumley and Stephen Barlow, dating since 2001. Joanna Lumley is known for her incredible sense of fashion, happy-go-lucky nature, acting skills, and much more. Besides her career, she's committed to her marriage with Stephen Barlow. The couple's been together for over 30 years and lives in an impressive house in London. Joanna's professional life may be an open book, but she keeps her personal life private. She doesn't share much about their love story or the secret behind their successful marriage, but we assume this is precisely why Stephen and Joanna are doing well. Minding one's own business is indeed suitable for everyone. Gladys Knight and William McDowell, married since 2001. Gladys Knight and William McDowell's love story is a classic romance tale, straight out of a Hollywood movie. And here's what happened. They'd known each other for 10 years when the pair started dating. Cupid worked its magic on them quite quickly, as they married within 3 months of their relationship. It is indeed true that if you like it, you should put a ring on it as soon as possible. For over 2 decades, Gladys and William have created a wonderful life for themselves in Asheville, North Carolina. They keep busy with work, do fundraising and social work, and spend time with their kids and grandchildren. Steve Harvey and Marjorie Harvey, married since 2007. Steve Harvey was doing a stand-up comedy show in Tennessee in 1990 when he saw Marjorie Harvey in the crowd. He stood there silently, stared at her, and said he would marry her one day on the mic. While he said it lightheartedly, it sounds like a prophecy today, as they've been married for over 14 years. Fate brought them face-to-face again in 2005 after their first meeting. They dated for 2 years and tied the knot. The television presenter admits that Steve and Marjorie have faced many ups and downs despite their compatibility, but they love each other too much to fall apart. How beautiful is that? Tyra Banks and Louis Bellinger, dating since 2018. The stunning model, businesswoman, host, and actor Tyra Banks has been dating Louis Bellinger for a few years. They both have successful careers and keep busy with their respective professions. The two stay low and away from the eyes of paps, but whenever they give public appearances, they seem head over heels in love with one another. They've even attended a few parties and events together. In 2020, there were rumors that Tyra and Louis got engaged as the media spotted a diamond ring on her ring finger, but the celeb claimed the information was false. Tyra didn't share if they have any plans to exchange bands shortly. Tyrus and Ingrid Rink. Tyrus, a former WWE wrestler and political analyst well known for his commanding presence, has succeeded personally and professionally. He has a loving and respectful relationship with his wife, Ingrid Rink. A successful professional and businesswoman, Ingrid is equally as devoted to her work as Tyrus is to his. Despite their hectic schedules, they keep their intimate moments low-key, maintaining their solidity as a pair. Fans have been enthralled by their bond, mainly when they appear in public on rare occasions and reveal their close relationship. Tyrus maintains his professional and familial balance with Ingrid by his side, always exuding confidence and mutual respect. Conan O'Brien and Liza Powell O'Brien, married since 2002. Sometimes destiny's impressive. Look at how Liza Powell O'Brien came into the life of Conan O'Brien. They've been married since 2002 and have welcomed 2 affectionate children. They don't shyly express their feelings and feel grateful for meeting one another. She worked in the advertising department with Foote, Cone, and Belding, and her company decided to make a kit with O'Brien. The two met, and sparks began to fly at first sight. The comedian got lost in her eyes, and there's footage of him falling for his wife. Jon Stewart and Tracy McShane, married since 2000. How cool is meeting the love of your life on a blind date? Jon Stewart struck gold when he met the beautiful Tracy McShane in 1997. He'd been nervous through their first meeting, so he yammered on while she sat quietly and listened. Despite the ace comedian thinking it was a bust, he later found out they were equally enamored. After dating for a few years, the couple tied the knot in the year 2000. Over the years, Tracy, being an animal lover, has enormously influenced Jon, and together they manage a sanctuary farm to date. Their relationship has only strengthened, with them becoming a solid team that supports and nurtures each other's dreams. Tulsi Gabbard and Abraham Williams, married since 2015. Tulsi Gabbard is an American politician, former congresswoman, and former member of the Democratic Party. When she was 21, she was elected to the Hawaii State Legislature, making her the youngest to be selected from the state. Tulsi was married once before, but in 2015, she tied the knot for the second time to cinematographer Abraham Williams. Some of his movies include The Ace and Anton Chekhov's The Proposal. They first met when Abraham volunteered to work for Tulsi's 2012 political campaign. Some years later, they were both surfing when he popped the question, and they wed on the beach. James Corden and Julia Carey, married since 2012. Avid fans of James Corden know how hilarious he can be. He's an expert at it, minting millions of dollars, making people laugh every day. No wonder he pulled out his trump card when it came to impressing his now wife, Julia Carey, when meeting her for the first time at a party. Even to date, the host of The Late Late Show recalls having planned their entire lives together as a joke. What followed was a beautiful courtship before the couple wed in 2012. 3 munchkins soon joined them, one after another, to make a picture-perfect family of 5 in the years James and Julia have spent in marital bliss. The funny man takes his role as a doting husband and father seriously. Jonathan Ross and Jane Goldman, married since 1988. It's heartwarming to come across couples who met young and have grown together to become famous in their respective fields. Jonathan Ross and Jane Goldman met at a party and bonded over their love for horror movies and science fiction. She was barely 16 but knew he was the one for her. 2 years later, they were married in 1988. Their entire careers stood on the strength of their relationship, with each supporting the other to follow their dreams. Jonathan became a famous television personality known for interviewing celebrities on ITV, and Jane became a successful screenwriter with notable works like Stardust to her credit. She's always been his ideal, and he is still passionate about her. Peter Kay and Susan Gargan, married since 2001. When comedian Peter Kay first met his wife in 1998 at a nightclub, we doubt he knew they would end up spending over 2 decades of their lives together. Instead, the two walked down the aisle in 2001 after dating for 3 years, and it looks like love lives in the Kay family. While many celebrities have no qualms about sharing their lives with the media and fans, Peter and Susan differ slightly. The Lovebirds have kept their marriage and children private, and nothing much is known about the woman of the household and their offspring. Maybe someday the singer will show us how they've sustained their union, and we look forward to it. Michael McIntyre and Kitty McIntyre, married since 2003. If you've followed Michael McIntyre, you know that some of his jokes come from his family. The comedian isn't afraid to make fun of his wife and children. Yet if you thought the star's spouse, Kitty McIntyre, would have a problem with that, she probably doesn't, since the two have been together since 2003. Despite Michael's grandmother's efforts to break them up when they started dating, their union has withstood the test of time. Keeping their lives private must have gone a long way towards making that happen. The McIntyres make a happy family of 4 with their 2 children, and we bet they'll be on the receiving end of the man's jokes for many years to come. Rowan Atkinson and Louise Ford, dating since 2014. Sometimes relationships don't work out, and celebrities aren't different. Before famous comedian Rowan Atkinson met his current partner, Louise Ford, he'd been married to Sinetra Sastry for a quarter of a decade. Still, Rowan found love again in fellow actress Louise, and the pair seems happy together if their public appearances are anything to go by. Despite their massive age gap, the couple's romance seems to be thriving in leaps and bounds. We must commend the actor for choosing his family and staying home to care for their child, Isla, when Louise went to work, as it rarely happens. Adam Schiff and Eve Sanderson, married since 1995. Imagine being called Adam and your friend set you up to meet Eve. Brilliant. That happened to American politician Adam Schiff, who met his wife, Eve Sanderson, at a tennis game in 1990, courtesy of their mutual friends. The meeting turned out well, as the two dated for 5 years before deciding to exchange their vows in an intimate ceremony. The Garden of Eden has been blissful for Adam and Eve, as their love grows stronger every day, supporting each other in their various endeavors. We wonder, though, if the pair has an apple orchard. Maybe we'll find out soon. Al Franken and Franny Bryson, married since 1975. When Al Franken first met his wife, Franny Bryson, in 1969, we doubt they knew they'd spend over 4 decades together. It was love at first sight for the two then students, and after dating for a couple of years, they tied the knot in 1975. 2 children down the line, the power couple is still going strong, having withstood the pressures of being in the limelight. They say that behind every successful man is a woman. Well, no one knows this better than Franken, who supported Franny in both his political and television career. Al Gore and Elizabeth Keetle, dating since 2012. You might know Al Gore as an American politician and vocal environmentalist, but did you know he was married before meeting Elizabeth Keetle? Unfortunately, the politician's marriage to Tipper Aitchison ended mutually after 4 decades, and while it was heartbreaking, it didn't stop him from finding love again. While details of how Al and Elizabeth met are pretty scanty and private, the pair haven't hidden their relationship, as more often than not they're seen doting over each other in public. Whether the lovebirds will walk down the aisle remains to be seen, and we hope they'll share the wedding photos with us when it happens. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Riley Roberts, dating since 2015. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez made history when she became the youngest woman to be elected to the U.S. Congress, but she didn't do it alone. She had someone by her side. Riley Roberts was a constant figure during her campaigns, and we must admit we'd all love to have someone as supportive as this lad. The lovebirds met in college, and they broke up after dating for a while. Love, though, has a way of bringing our soulmates back to us, and their romantic flame was rekindled after they met again sometime later. While they haven't revealed any wedding plans, we bet an engagement announcement could come shortly. Amy Klobuchar and John D. Bessler, married since 1993. Like the rest of us, influential politicians like to feel loved, and Amy Klobuchar is no different. The U.S. Senator met her husband, John Bessler, at a Minneapolis cafe in 1992, and it was love at first sight, with the two deciding to make it official a year later. We bet mutual support and respect have enabled the couple to maneuver the murky waters of politics and be in the limelight. And we must say they've done it to absolute perfection. John has been by his wife's side during her campaigns and rallies, and don't we relish seeing love win. Andrew Yang and Evelyn Liu, married since 2011. Andrew Yang has had a relatively successful political career and even made his presidential aspirations public at some point. Yet surprisingly, the businessman and politician still finds time in his busy schedule to perform his husband and fatherly duties to a T. That's how Andrew and Evelyn Liu have maintained a happy union for almost a decade. The family currently lives in Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan, and has another residence in New Paltz, New York to their name. Yang and his wife have 2 sons they adore and cherish, and have even been pictured going to church together. Indeed, it's a family that prays together. Barack Obama and Michelle Robinson, married since 1992. After being the first family for 2 consecutive terms, Barack and Michelle Obama need no introduction. The power couple has been the standard to look up to for a long time, and we doubt it'll change anytime soon. The couple tied the knot in 1992, but their love story began rather excitingly. Michelle was assigned to mentor Barack when he joined their law firm, but it wasn't until they attended a community organization meeting that the young lawyer caught her eye. They went on their first date shortly after that and have been inseparable since. Ben Carson and Candy Rustin, married since 1975. Ben Carson and Candy Rustin began their long journey together after meeting at Yale University in 1971. They might say that opposites attract, but these lovebirds were peas of the same pod when it came to smarts, and that's how they connected. 4 years later, the impressive surgeon kissed his bride, and they began living as the Carsons in Maryland. If you ask us, the couple's had a successful marriage, considering they have 3 kids and several grandkids. Moreover, after several decades together, we've not heard any hints of a split in the camp. Bernie Sanders and Jane O'Meara, married since 1988. Bernie Sanders has always been a man's man. His marriage to Jane O'Meara is a key testament to that. The couple tied the knot in 1988, but a day later they were headed to the Soviet Union, where Bernie was part of an official delegation as mayor. On the other hand, Jane came with impressive credentials after becoming the president of Burlington College. If there were ever a poster couple for a match made in heaven, this couple would probably take the cake. Since their union to date, Bernie and Jane have stuck by each other's side, and nothing fades from this union. Beto O'Rourke and Amy Sanders, married since 2005. Betto and Amy might be the youngest couple on the block, but they are steadily moving their love machine. The couple exchanged vows in 2005 at Amy's parents' ranch in Lammy, New Mexico, and they might have been joined at the hip since then. The union has 3 kids living together at Sunset Heights in El Paso. Surprisingly, it's interesting that while the family might have a politician in the household, they only show themselves publicly when they have to. They say to keep it private, not secret, after all. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon